Among all the relentless bad news on the NFL front, Sean Payton, coach obviously of the Saints, said yesterday he was cleared after he tested positive a couple of weeks ago. So congratulations to you, coach. Now on to our next NFL debate topic. Yesterday after the show, I happened to glance at Twitter at the trending topics in the United States. Usually they're bad, 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 bad. And I noticed that the #1 trending topic was Moss. I clicked on that to see what was happening, and somehow a debate had detonated, Randy Moss or Jerry Rice, who was the greatest. And I think it detonated because Minnesota had just acquired a distant relative of Shannon Sharp's named Tajay Sharp. And somehow, because of cabin fever that we're all experiencing right now, boom, a debate had launched, which brings us to right here, right now. And I'm going to ask the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp, who you got? Who was better?
Skip.
Jerry Rice or Randy Moss?
For me, look, and people go back and forth. I think the 3 greatest receivers of all time, and I put them in this order, and my order has not changed. Jerry Rice is in a class by himself. It's Jerry by himself. I got T.O. and I got Randy, but I put T.O. second. Skip, it's not even close. When you look at Jerry's numbers compared to Randy, okay, so now titles don't matter. I thought championships matter because Jerry has 3, Randy has none. So we're going to disqualify that. So titles don't matter anymore. Randy went to 6 Pro Bowls. Jerry went to 13. Jerry was a 10-time first-team All-Pro. Randy was a 4-time first-team All-Pro. Jerry led the league in receiving yards 6 times. Randy Moss never did that. Skip, stop this. I think what happened is that because, Skip, we see this thing going on ESPN. They had the top 64 men and women players of all time. And you and I both know the greatest college basketball player to ever live was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was Lou Alcindor then. He later became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He got upset in the round of 32. Stop it. People forget I happened to see Jerry in his prime. I came in the league 5 years after Jerry. I saw Randy in his prime. Skip, it's not close. See, here's the thing. If you're going to be the GOAT, you can't have caveats if Randy played hard, if Randy did this. There are too many ifs. Caveat. Randy was great, no question about it. But Jerry Rice is in a class by himself. He has 44 more receiving touchdowns, probably about 8,000, 9,000 more receiving yards, 600 more catches. How? Under what metric would you use to say Randy Moss was better than Jerry Rice? If you look at stats, if you look at accolades, you look at whatever, longevity. Skip, do you know this? Jerry Rice had a 140-yard receiving game at the age of 42. Randy Moss' last 100-yard game was in 2009. He was 32. Skip, let that sink in for a second. Jerry got that 140 against the Cowboys too, Skip. Just want you to know that. When he was playing with Seattle.
I know
Skip,
it well. Too well.
Skip, does Oakland count? Is Oakland on his resume? Is that on Randy Moss's resume? Is his second return to Minnesota? Is the Tennessee Titans, is that on his resume? Jerry went to the Pro Bowl as a receiver with 1,200+ yards at the age of 40. Man, stop this. I don't even know why we're having this discussion. Jerry Rice Skip, I can make a case that Jerry is the greatest football player. Forget receiver. But you want to put somebody in his class as far as receiving? It's not even close. It's not even close. And that's not disrespectful to Randy, T.O., or any other receiver. But if Jerry Rice is the greatest receiver, and it's not close.
It is close, and I'm going to tell you why. I think most people out there in Twitter land, a lot of people who watch both of these players closely, these great receivers closely through the primes of their careers, and obviously Jerry's prime was way longer than Randy's prime, but they know that in a vacuum, you're looking at a Randy Moss who ran a 4.240. Jerry fell in the draft to the 49ers because he ran 4.6. Obviously, he runs real fast or ran real fast with a football under his arm. But 4.2 versus 4.6, and as you know, Randy, played at 6 feet 4 inches tall. 6'4" with great, not good hands, great stick-'em hands with no stick-'em on them, like he was born with stick-'em fingers. He made great catches effortlessly. I did see Jerry drop an occasional ball. I did see Jerry get down on himself on the sideline occasionally, and obviously I honor Jerry's greatness. So I'll sum it up for you this way, Shannon. I've never seen anything like Randy Moss on a football field. When I watched Jerry, he was just so textbook great that it looked effortless. It looked like he wasn't even trying to run what were great routes. So in the end, if you push me to the brink on this, if you say, I got one game for my life, I want Randy Moss as my go-to receiver. If you say, I have... Yeah, but if I have, listen, if I have 1 year and you say you have to go win this championship for your life this year and you got to do it in 19 games, let's say, I want Jerry Rice because I know he's going to give me everything he has every play. But one game for my life, I'm not out of my mind. I'm going to live because I'm going to take Randy Moss.
Skip, you do realize Jerry Rice averaged 8 catches for $142 and 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Do they get any bigger than that? You see, again, you have to preface it. Did you have to ever worry about Jerry Rice playing hard? Did you ever see Jerry Rice walk off the field before the game was over?
No.
Did you ever see that,
Obviously
Skip?
not.
You
No.
see Harris. Exactly.
Nope.
That's the thing. And Randy was historically great. But when you talk about for a career, not only did Jerry play longer, he played longer better. You take Randy greatest, the year that Randy had, which he broke Jerry's record, you do realize Jerry Rice caught 22 touchdowns in 12 games. Not 23 and 16. He caught 22 and 12. Skip, look,
Okay.
I get the highlight, and you got Moss, but it's not close, Skip. There's nothing. We've never seen anything like Jerry. We're not going to see it again. We're not going to see it again. We're not going to see a receiver play that long, play that well.
Here's what you're missing. Jerry Rice, and I covered many of these games, he got to play for Joe Montana, and he got to play for Steve Young, and he got to play for Jeff Garcia, who made 4 Pro Bowls, and then he went to Oakland, speaking of Oakland, and he got to play with a Rich Gannon, who made 4 Pro Bowls and won the MVP 1 year with Jerry Rice in 2002. So he was blessed with his quarterback run, while look at what happened to Randy Moss. He had Randall Cunningham, not bad. I mean, he made some Pro Bowls in his time, and then he was going back and forth in those first couple of years. There was Brad Johnson, there was Jeff George, and there was some Randall Cunningham. Then he got Dante Culpepper. Dante's very good. I loved him. I pushed that year for the Bears to take him, and they didn't, and they should have. They took Cade McCown, and that was an all-time mistake. But if you look at Dante Culpepper or about Montana or Young, no, he was just a very good player, not a Hall of Fame type player.
Skip, but you can't, Skip, we can do that with anyone. So are we going to disqualify Joe Montana from being great because he had Jerry for all those years? Or are we going to disqualify Troy for being good because he had Emmett in his backfield? No, we can't use this as qualifiers. You can't do that. Look at the numbers, the longevity, the numbers, the accolades.
I'm doing it.
Oh, stop.
Okay.
Okay. Well, he had Tom Brady. He had the GOAT, Tom Brady. Why didn't he win a title? He had 4 years with the GOAT. Why didn't he win a title with the GOAT?
He should have. You know it, and I know it. And he had one big year with Tom Brady. It was 2007. Okay, can I talk? Let me speak. Now, let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
1 year in 2007. What happened? What happened? Randy Moss caught 23 touchdown passes that year, and guess whose record he broke? Jerry Rice's. He had Tom Brady for 1 great year, and he caught 23 touchdown passes. I don't care how many games it took, he did that. And then they go for 19-0 in the Super Bowl, and in the 4th quarter, right on time, Tom Brady drives them 80 yards down the field for what should have been the game-winning drive. He throws a short pass to Randy Moss for a touchdown that put them up. What was it, 14-10 at that point? And here came Eli Manning. And you know what happened on 3rd and forever? Eli, who had no mobility, avoids 3 sacks, wheels around, puts his hand over his eyes, and flings it as far as he can into trouble, into the middle of the field. Rodney Harrison, a great safety, completely misplays the ball, and Tyree manages to stick it in his face mask. It took the luckiest throw in the history of the Super Bowl, even according to Eli Manning, who agreed with me on that premise, for Eli to pull out that victory over Tom and Randy Moss. So if Eli doesn't pull off that play, Randy Moss has a ring, and Randy Moss is a made man, and we might not even be having this discussion. But you got to give him that he did catch, with 2 minutes left, a game-winning touchdown pass.
Jerry caught 8 touchdowns in the Super Bowl and never played a game in which he caught fewer than 2. But that's neither here nor there. Caught a touchdown in every Super Bowl. But that's neither here nor there. What happened in 2009? Was he not with Tom Brady in 2009? Was he not with Tom Brady in 10?
Okay, but
he was 4 years that they traded him early in 2010.
He started to go south. He started to buck the system, and finally Belichick just dumped him. Remember? He dumped him. I got it.
Yes, I remember. I remember.
Yeah. Okay? So what happened one game that I covered at the end of the 1994 season at Candlestick Park? Maybe the greatest, no, not maybe. It was the greatest individual matchup I ever witnessed. It was Michael Irvin on Deion Sanders for the whole game because the Cowboys fell behind 21-3. And here they went. Troy threw 26 passes at Michael that game, but Michael caught 12 of them on Deion for 192 yards. Meanwhile, Jerry Rice in that game caught 2 balls for 36 yards. Really, 2 balls for 36. Michael just showed him up in that game. And I've always told you, I'm still taking Michael. I want him in my foxhole as the greatest receiver over Jerry Rice. I just would. And we don't have time for that right now. No, well, no, he would tell me off camera. No, off camera, he was Jerry Rice. If I give you his prime numbers, his 91-98 numbers head-to-head with Jerry Rice, his were better. I'm sorry, they just were.
No,
that's a whole conversation for another day.
You better stop.
I'm sorry.
You better stop saying this, Skip.
Okay, I got 91-98. Receptions for first down. Michael, 531. Michael Irvin. Jerry, 467. How about fourth quarter receiving yards in close games? 7 points or closer. Michael, 1,030 receiving in the fourth quarter to 868 for Jerry Rice. I can go on and on. He had better big game clutch numbers than Jerry Rice because he was the playmaker. I'll take him big picture, long term over Jerry Rice. But one game for my life, I'm sorry, I'd take Randy Moss. And I think you would too in your heart of hearts.
No, absolutely not. One game for my life, I'm taking Jerry. I'm taking prime Jerry over any player. I'll take Jerry at 30 over any player. I'm not taking over. Skip, like I said, Randy had an unbelievable career. But you have to understand, Skip, before my brother came along, Jerry had a stranglehold on the NFC. I mean, as far as yards, reception, touchdowns, it was my brother. It took my brother to interrupt that because he led the league in receiving 3 times. He led the league in touchdowns, led the league in yards. Before that, Jerry stranglehold the NFC. Skip, you do realize Jerry had
they're both playing in the West Coast offense, right? Yes. West Coast, Bill Walsh offense. Your brother was playing in it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Randy wasn't playing in it.
Hold on, Skip. He got the West Coast the last 3 years. Before that, Lindy Infante. It was when Mike got there in 92 because, obviously Mike came from San Francisco. Mike got there in 92 is when they went to the West Coast. But Skip, you do realize Brian Billick, they had the #1 scoring offense in football. Brian Billick's offense was up and down the field. That's what Randy got his first couple of years, his first 4 or 5 years.
That was because Randy Moss was electrifying. Okay, we will agree to disagree on this debate, but let's try this one because this is going to be really good. Fox Bet has the over-under for Tom Brady's Bucs next year at 9 wins. Man, I'm going way over on that. Stay tuned for this.